Well, good afternoon and happy Thursday to all of you that are here on the call at this time. My name is Warren Davis, and we are here once again to get your questions answered. As you can see, hopefully see my screen, and we're here to take any questions that we've already gone past, or even on our last call. We're going to answer those questions, but we also want to take any brand new questions for today that you might have. So hopefully you will be able to get your questions answered successfully. We expect there to be a pretty good number of you on the call today. As folks get in, they come in a little bit along. Right now, there's just a few of you on the call, but we want to start to answer questions even from our questions on Monday. So if you can see my screen, it says get your questions answered. And I appreciate it if those of you that might be new, if you want to know how to send in your questions, there should be a control box on the right-hand side. First of all, let's do a quick sound check or screen check. Hopefully you all are hearing me. Let's see. Get my indicators here. Okay, yeah, my indicators on the audio are showing that that you can hear me. So if you can hear me okay, and you can see my screen where it says send your questions, one of you out there, would you just give me a response and let me know that you can see my questions? You would just type in anything you want in this control box here and hit send, and it will end up getting to me. So any of you that are on the call right now, you might, some are listening in, and some can actually see the screen on their computer. Okay, very good. And it looks like you all can see my screen okay, and you can hear me okay. Thank you very much. All right, appreciate that, Bruce. Very much. Excellent. Okay, in getting your questions answered, we're going to be dealing with primarily on these calls what we call the LPG deal flow. And that being said, we just want you to understand that when we're teaching here or sharing anything with you from the standpoint of the Investment Dominator, we're talking about all these different facets or functions that your Investment Dominator performs for you as you bring in your company info, your county data, your offer request, and your property details, and your prospects in terms of your leads and your buyers. This all comes into the Investment Dominator, and out of the Investment Dominator, we're able to generate obviously our letters and offers, and we get websites. It allows us to calculate our offers. We can even do some kind of analytics in Investment Dominator. And of course, you can manage a team of different users in the Investment Dominator. What I said all that to say, I prefaced this discussion or this portion of the discussion just to let you know, we're only suggesting, how you can use Investment Dominator in your business. We're not, anything I share with you on the call, it's based on the design of the Investment Dominator and how it might be best to use the Investment Dominator in your LPG deal flow. But we want you to know that we're not saying that that's the only way that you can have your records processed. It's not the only way you can use Investment Dominator. Investment Dominator is very versatile, has a lot of different ways that you can do some of the same functions. But our goal here is just to give you the most advantageous way to use Investment Dominator in your business. And like I say, they're only suggestions, strong suggestions, but suggestions. And we're hoping that you will keep that in mind as you use your Investment Dominator. So again, we're going to get into getting your questions answered. And in order to do that, we of course are going to go into our Investment Dominator screen here. As you can see my screen with the land deals. And we're going to start with some questions that we had on even Monday. One of the questions we had came from a gentleman named Harold, and Harold had a question that had to do with purchasing, the different domains. We do ask that you purchase 2 domains, one for your buying and one for your selling site. And Harold also wanted to know if it was necessary to purchase a domain for what we call a squeeze page, or in other words, your opt-in page. So I'm going to end the tour here. And what Harold was talking about, see, there's 3 different sites here that it's showing now. Actually, you have a buying site and a selling site. Those are the only 2 sites that you have. This opt-in page is simply a page. But because it came up under my sites, Harold might be thinking that, well, I need a domain for my buying site, and I need a domain for my selling site, and do I need a domain for this opt-in page? And the answer to that is no. You do not need a domain for your opt-in page. If we come over here under customize, if you can see, the buying site and the selling site are the only 2 sites that we have there. And he's talking about these domains here that come out of, this one is from Investment Dominator. But if you go to GoDaddy or whoever your domain provider is, we'd be having you have a domain updated here. But the point I'm making here is the domain is only necessary for your selling site, and you need a domain for your buying site. You do not need a domain for the opt-in page, which if I were to go under my selling site, one of the first pages that come up is Warren's custom opt-in page. And I made this custom opt-in page, which we can show you how to do. That's not a big deal, but you don't need a domain for that particular page. So that was the whole point that we were making here, that there's only a domain needed for buying and selling sites. Hope that's clear, and we'll move on here to our next question. See, there are quite a few more of you joining the site. I've been getting questions from different individuals that some of which I'm coaching, and the others are just questions in general. Based on the time of year that we're in right now, what is the best or advised last week for sending out neutral letters? And remember, neutral letters, they'd be in prospect status. These are your letters going out to your various customers saying, hey, I'm interested in purchasing your land. So the question is, what is the advised or last week for this year? Would we advise you sending out your neutral letters from the Investment Dominator? And from my own personal opinion, and that's all it is, personal opinion, I would say this week, like even around, we sent some letters out, last week, but we were going to send our last batch out this past week, like the 9th or the 10th, which was Monday or Tuesday. Sending out our letters this week, and I would say even up to today or tomorrow would be fine, because we're right approaching, the middle of December. And if you think about the way the process goes, once you send these letters out, especially if you're doing them through, let's say, letterprinting.net, and they're producing and sending out your neutral letters, one of the first things you do as you produce your neutral letters, they are going to give you a proof back. And those of you that are using ITI know that this is the way they do it. That ITI is letterprinting.net, by the way. So the first thing they're going to do once you send your documents to them, and the documents I'm talking about are the 3, you're going to send them a neutral letter template, a neutral letter envelope, and a CSV file, which is an Excel file that has all of your potential customers listed. Once you send them this, they're going to produce a proof for you so that you can check to make sure that your letters are going to go out correctly. That takes them at least 24, maybe 48 hours to do that. Then once you approve that, they are going to then take another 2 to 3 days, depending on what their workload is, to actually send the letters out. So let's say realistically, if you send them today and you proof your letters tomorrow and you say, okay, everything's good, you can send them out. They may not start sending those letters out until sometime next week, which might be, this past was the Monday coming up will be the 16th. So this Monday, the 16th, your letters may not start going out until like the 16th or the 17th, which would be Monday or Tuesday. That said, they may not get to your customers until the 18th or 19th. So if they didn't get to them until the 18th or 19th, that's right before Christmas. So, okay, good point. Some of you are making a good point that even this time of year, the mail is running a little bit slower, and that's a very true statement. So, I'm hearing that it's been maybe 2 to 3 business days even before you may get the proof. That's a little bit long. I would even at this time of year, we normally get ours turned around. Like if I send it today, they will proof it and get it back to me by tomorrow. That would be Friday. And but let's say that's best case scenario, right? And if the mail is slow, they may not get these letters out until next week sometime, and they may not get into your prospective prospects' hands until, I don't know, the Monday before Christmas, or at best, mail won't run, probably won't be doing anything on Christmas Eve and Christmas. So your prospects may not get these letters until after Christmas. Well, then they're getting ready for New Year's, right? Family still is family around and enjoying family. So my whole point is, this would be the absolute latest time that I would send out any prospect letters, expecting anyone to actually look at them and read them. So don't be disappointed if things slow down a little bit here in the last couple of weeks until after New Year's. That's quite normal. And some of you that are brand new to this, and you're all fired up about getting your letters out, you possibly could run into a little bit of a slowdown right about this particular time. So just keep that in mind as you're going forth. And don't be disappointed if you don't get your turnaround as quickly as you might have wanted to. All right. So, okay, we're going to be getting into some Investment Dominator questions. Did have a question that came, let's see. Okay, a question from a young lady named Valerie. And I'm going to answer that. It's pretty straightforward and hopefully easy to understand. So Valerie was talking about removing the reference to the sell your house fast from her buying site. Okay. All right. And we get this question every so often. And I'm just writing it down here. To sell your house fast. Okay, and that's on the buying site. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about if you're looking at my screen now. Okay, let's see. Okay, I got a little sidetracked here. So on your buying site, see it's this is where you're going to be buying land from other individuals. Okay, so here we have sell your land for cash or sell your house fast. And what this young lady is referring to is this particular reference to selling your house. Like, she's strictly doing land, so she doesn't even want any, any reference or anything on her site to say anything about selling your house fast. We completely understand that. So it's pretty straightforward if you want to take that away. You have to come under Customize. And for those of you that are brand new, this will be a new learning for you. Those of you that already know it, just bear with us here. Under your buying site, you want to open up your buying site and you want to say Manage Buying Site Menu. That's this black bar right here. So I'm left clicking on that. And as you can see, I get a header and a footer for my buying site menu. So we're looking over here on this side because this is the one that has to do with our particular menu that we're speaking of on our buying site. And you can see here under the header menu, under this header menu section, it has an actual link, or I should say an actual function that refers to selling your house. And here, this one is selling your land. So what we're going to do, and you have this header menu section, what we're going to do is I'm left clicking on that and it makes it movable. I'm left clicking, but I'm holding down the left click. So I'm not just clicking on it and releasing, I'm holding it down. So then I can drag it. I can move it and drag it. And all you do is just drag it up here to the Not Set section of your menu. And you hit Save. Okay, notice that. So let's see now. Still seeing questions come in here. So under My Sites, and we're going to look at the buying site. Notice now, you only see Sell Your Land for Cash. We don't see anything, any reference to houses. So that is the quickest way to get rid of that reference to the house. Now, of course, those of you that may want to have reference to both house and land, come back under Customize, expand your buying site, go into Manage Site Buying, and you notice here where it talks about selling your house, all you do is left click again, and remember that makes it movable, and you come back down here, put it into your header menu. So these are your active functions, and you hit Save again. All right, and when we refresh our sites, come back under your buying site, there is your Sell Your House Fast link again. Okay, so that being said, hopefully that'll give you some insight into how you can control okay, all right, and so I got a question I can answer real quick. Really not for everyone else. It's pretty much for Tracy there. Best is to send to the email. See, if it's referring to questions about the documents, okay, when you have a buyer, go ahead and send that to the email that you have on your system, Tracy. And I will see it and get to it. We've been kind of getting into the holiday season. We're managing our business, and of course we have coaching students. And I was just speaking of it for myself, managing my own business because I recently retired from corporate America. So I have a lot of time that and things I'm implementing in my own personal business. But we also have coaching students, and we now are getting into the time of year where we have those wonderful Christmas parties. And so, in fact, we just had one last night. So, in any case, we're a little stretched, but still, you know, answering your questions are priority for us. So hope that helps you out there, Tracy. If you would go on and send to the email address that you have on file, we should be able to get your questions answered. Okay. All right. So as we move on here, we have a combination of investment dominator related questions as well as business questions. Some questions that are coming in right now really have to do with the business, your business flow or your business processes, and we want to answer both of them. We try to keep it mostly investment dominator related, but we want to at least be able to address your questions. And keep in mind, if I can't get them done today, being the 12th of December, if I can't get them done today, we will handle them on the next call, which is going to be on the 16th. I will get them answered by Monday the 16th at 5 p.m. So I'm hoping that we get them handled today. But some of you send in some very good questions, and it takes me a little time to really give you a thorough answer. Okay, like one that came in recently regarding why is it necessary, okay, to complete a title search, okay, prior to marketing our properties. Okay, because this is a good question, because a lot of individuals understand in the process, in the business flow process, that when you purchase land, so let's say, I'm going to say under offer requests, so I'm going to be sending out pending preliminary research records, are those records that you, the seller has come back to you and said, hey, I want an offer on my property. And when you've gone through doing the research, you get the market value of the property, you're now ready to start marketing that property, putting it on your website, putting it on the various sites, you know, coming up with your listings, etc. And you're gung-ho about doing that. Now, it is my recommendation that you will do an initial title search on whatever land you're looking at. It's going to be based on this APN. Do a title search first, please, because if you don't, and this might cost you a little bit of money, it's two different ways you can go, but it might cost you about $200 or so, maybe $180 or so, to have a title search done on that property that you're going to be putting under, that you have under contract if they accept your offer. Now, these are for those that have accepted your offer, right? So you sent them out an offer request, and they said, yeah, I accept that offer. Now you're ready to market the property. Do an initial title search, because you never know what you're going to find. It might look like that title, is clean, that even if there's only been one or two owners on that particular property, I'm still urging you to do a title search, because you can't see if there are any liens against that property, let's say with a bank. And sometimes owners use their land as collateral to secure loans. That type of information you won't be able to see by just looking in the county records. That's my point. So we've had some individuals that have decided, well, I'm smart enough, I'm gonna look in the county records, and that's a good way to start to see how far back does the title go for this particular, let's say if I'm looking at this APN, how far back does the title go how many owners has there been on this property? And if they see only 1 or 2 owners, they think, okay, good. Chances are I'm not going to have any problem getting title on this property, and I'm going to just go in and start marketing. Well, now if you market this property and you get a buyer that calls in and says, hey, I'm interested in that property, you know, in order for you to close on that property, you know, you've got to employ a title company or an attorney. They're going to do a title search, right? And they're going to see what they uncover so you can get clear title to that property. But I'm encouraging you, that's fine. I'm encouraging you to do an initial title search, because we just had an example about 2 weeks ago. I think I was sharing with you all. We have a property that we got under contract, and I'll just write down some figures so you can know. Our offer was $153,000 for the property. The market value on the property is about $495,000 for this property, and we were going to put up for sale. We're going to put up for sale around $355,000. Okay, so someone that's coming in looking at this property, you know, they can see the market value is almost $500,000, and we're selling it for $355,000. Okay, that's a nice profit margin there, because we're only offering $153,000. The gentleman so he accepted our offer. So we already got offer accepted. Now we're ready to market, right? So we went and we did an initial title search. And this search, now for this property, it cost us about $215, right? $215 to do an initial title search. But I was so glad that we spent this money, because we found out that there was a loan secured with the property for approximately, I think it was $400,000. So title search said there's a loan for $400,000 against this property, and there was an assignment on the property for some other, I don't know, is it 14,000, whatever, amount. So that's $414,000 that is tied up in this property. So what's necessary is, in order for us to get clear title, see, if we spent this $215, in order to get clear title, we need the seller. The seller has to petition the bank who's holding this loan. The seller petitions the bank to release this. So we need a release. We need a release from the bank. And let's see, that's for the loan. We also need a release from bank for the assignment. And these are documents that have to be filed. The seller has to file these, has to petition the bank to release that loan. They have to petition the bank to release that assignment before we can get clear title. So this is needed for a clear title. And now, if you can imagine, if we had just, looked at the person who was the owner of this particular parcel, which he's been the owner of this parcel for many years. So if we looked at him and he's 15, 20 years on the title, we would have thinking, okay, well, we probably can get clear title to this. But doing this initial title search, it revealed that he's done other activity with this property. I can't stress it enough. And see, if we'd gotten a buyer all excited about this property, then we could be in a real pickle here, because you have a buyer that's not ready to put down money for your property, but we couldn't even get clear title so that we can legally sell it to our buyer. So I just want to make sure that this is one example where spending this money, $215, saved us a lot of headache. It also saved us having to even market this property until the seller does their thing and they get the initial papers filed and get this released. So now what we're waiting on, the seller says he can get this done. So he's gonna get this loan for $400,000 released. He's gonna get this assignment released, and once we get that paperwork in hand, then we will go on and market this property and hopefully be able to sell it and make hopefully anywhere from $190,000 to $200,000 on this particular property. But just wanted to reiterate that again, because some folks are kind of nervous about spending money for title searches before they market and find buyers for the properties. Just want to encourage you all, that's good money. Also, in addition to that, if you're working with a title company, as we are in one particular area where we do a lot of business, the title company, we have an attorney that will or a title company that will do an initial search for us, and they only charge us $75. Because we do a lot of business with them, they're willing to give us a break and just charge us $75 for that particular service. So we'll send them an APN, and the county it's in, and they'll go out and check real quick, make sure there are no liens or other encumbrances that would prevent us from receiving clear title. And so anyway, we spoke to our seller about this issue, and they had conveniently forgotten about this lien that was securing a loan. I got little questions about that, but in any case, they said they forgot about it, and they were so happy to accept our offer of $153,000. And so I'm just going to encourage you again, do your due diligence when you get these parcels under contract, especially when they're in pending preliminary research. Then once you get them under contract, of course, you're going to move them, you're going to open escrow, and you're going to do a detailed search at that time. All right, hopefully that will give you a little insight. That's what I'm hoping to do, give you a little insight into your process and when it's best to do those initial title searches. All right. Okay, we have a question about, and I'm gonna have to research this one a little bit. Samuel, I noticed you have a question here about you want to create a template. Create a template of the second offer. Okay. And I hope I understand what you mean, but just if I look under help and we look under, I'm gonna search our user guide. I'm just gonna type in Jack, and we're gonna search. Let's see here. Okay. So you can customize Jack's offer templates, or you can customize Jack's neutral letter. Now, to my knowledge, we don't have anytime you want to create a new document or you want to create a new version of that document, you basically have to bring that document into the Investment Dominator and create a custom document. So let me see if he has anything in here. Okay, this the custom offer letter or the custom offer template. Or you have Exhibit A template. Okay, so if I wanted to create an actual version of that particular document, as far as I can tell you, to do your steps would be under Customize. Right. Yes. He's okay. The first offer letter is created. So if I wanted to actually create a second or another version of that offer, I would have to come under Custom Documents, and I'm gonna see if I have one in here. I'll go through some of the steps. Okay, so here you see I do have a custom offer letter that I've created or I've customized. And let's see what that one looks like. Okay. So here's an example of an offer letter. Now, if I wanted to change the way this offer letter actually reads, if I wanted to change something about it, what I would have to do, Samuel, is I'm going to come here, I'm going to add a document, and I'm going to select, land only, obviously. And when I say doc, you can either do a document or a PDF. I'm going to say both. I always say create both just for the sake of, and I might say, let's see, offer, okay. Okay, let's see, we'll say second offer, and status pending preliminary research, portrait, okay, any fields I want to insert, I can insert them now. So here's where, when you come up under Jack's, any of the letters that you can create newly or you can change. Okay, this is the offer cover letter. The next one is the actual offer template. So I'm going to left click on this content. When I say content, I'm going to left click there. And as you can see, it brings up all this different code that you don't have to know how to do HTML, but you're going to want that as you're creating a custom document. Before I copy that in, I want to hit source, because this disengages all of these different functions for HTML. You then come up here. Now I can do a control, hold the control key down and do an A, which is going to select all of this information here. I can do that, or I can simply copy, left click and copy all of my information. Then I'm going to do a control C. So that's holding the control C as in cat. Control C to copy all of that information. Okay. And then I put my cursor, make sure my cursor is up in this corner. Then I'm going to do a control V as in Victor. All right, to copy or to paste all of that information into the file where I'm creating my custom document. Now at this point, you might, you don't want to modify anything here unless you understand HTML code, which a lot of us don't. So you're going to hit the source again. And it brings it into a more readable comment. But you notice it keeps all of the fields here that are going to be dynamic, that can be changed. It keeps all of them in their dynamic state. So here's where you can come in now and you can modify any of the text here, or you can add text to create your custom letter. Anything I add, here I'm just going to put Samuel's custom template. Okay. So, and we'll bold that. So now when you create this, let's see, we want to hit, so now you've made whatever changes you want to make to this custom template. And then you want to select label here. And you want to allow export data, yes. Allow bulk, yes. And then we're going to move it to the next status would be offer option sent. Let's move it to, let's see. Offer sent, okay. And each property we'll leave is yes. Now we're going to add this. So essentially this is our custom template that we made, and it should put it right at the end. So here it is, Samuel's custom second offer. And if I were to do a document preview, see that shows me this is where I changed, this is what I added to this particular document. So that's how you actually go in and you create, you put the words that you want to put into this particular, for a second offer, letting the customer know this is a second offer. And now here's the only thing that you need to understand, Samuel, is that when you go in to actually reference, when you do a generate documents at this point, this is going to generate any documents that are under the pending preliminary research. They're going to end up in your offer, but you can't look for the offer changes that you made here at this level because you made a custom document, if you remember. So you have to come down here and expand your custom document template, and you go all the way to the bottom, and you're going to see Samuel's custom offer, second offer. And so here is where, when you open up this document, as you can see, for any letters that are pending preliminary research, it has your changes. So I'll enable editing here, but it has your changes, Samuel's custom template. All right. So my point here, and this is what a lot of students get confused on, is that you have to look for your version of that you made under the custom document template. You can't look for your version under the regular offers section. So hope that helps you, Samuel. You are very welcome. And okay, all right, we're running out of time here. I tell you, these calls go by so fast. You're very welcome. Okay, so that's how you create basically a custom document for any of the custom documents that you may want to modify in what we call our built-in documents. So you can modify any of those built-in documents by the procedure I just stated. So we had a question a week or so ago from Brent and Megan. This is more of a business question. So I just received a request for an offer from someone filling out a form on their website. So obviously it looks like the customer came up here and might have filled out on their buying site, might have filled out an actual request to get an offer. So we sent them a letter for one particular APN, but it looks like they entered a different property than the one we mailed them about and left their phone number, but no email address. Okay, so the question is, do we normally call these leads and talk with them, or just do a research and send them an offer? Okay, that's a good question. Let me make note of it. Brent and Megan. Okay, received offer request. All right. And again, that would be probably, I'm pretty sure that was probably done through their buying site where it says, you know, they want to, if you want to sell your land for cash, so someone would come in and they would fill out all of this appropriate information here. And once they put in their first name, last name, if they have a reference number, they'll put that in. If not, so let's just say John Hendrickson, primary phone. Okay, let's say we don't have a reference number, but they come in and they hit next. So then it asks them for all this information that you see on my screen here. They're going to enter all the information about the property, what county it's in, and they'll enter whatever information they can, and then they're going to say finish offer request. When they do that, system is going to create for them a record in pending preliminary research. It's going to put that status on it. It's going to put their name on it, and it's going to be a record for them to have an offer request sent. But you know, Brent and Megan were saying that what they're doing, they sent them a letter initially under prospect. They sent them a letter for one specific APN, but when the person came back and they had put in an offer request, it was for a different APN than the one they originally sent them a communication about. So the question is, would we normally call this person and speak with them about that, or would we just do the record, do the research and send them an offer on this particular parcel? And this is based on, if you want to, you could call them if you want. Normally, we would only call the person back if they specified that in their records or in their land record. And usually, we use Pat Live. We have our Pat Live representative. Usually in the caller's comments, the caller may see something about, please call us before sending an offer on this property. Okay, if we see something like that, we definitely call them. Now, in this particular case, since it's a different APN than the one that you specified, what we've done in the past, we've just gone on and done our research and sent them an offer on the parcel that they specified. So why do we do that? We did that because, we contacted them about one parcel. They didn't put any notes on it. They didn't send us any information back. So we might have sent them a record based on parcel A, but they sent us a request back in the system. So that means they went into the system, they did under my site, went under my buying site, they took the time to fill out all of that information on a different APN. That could give us the impression that, okay, well, I am interested in selling this parcel, but this is the parcel I'm interested in selling, not the one you referred to in your first contact, in your prospect or your neutral letter. So that tells me that the customer probably knows which parcel they're interested in getting an offer on. So we would then not worry about calling them back. We would just go on and do our research. It's in pending preliminary research already. So we would go on and do our research, get the market value, calculate an offer, and send them off an offer. That's how we would probably handle that particular situation. But again, it's up to you. If you feel like calling them, it's up to you. We have so many other things to do. We probably wouldn't spend the time on the phone talking with the customer if they've already taken the time to fill out our information on our site. We don't want to waste their time. We don't want to waste our time. So hopefully that gives you a little clarity as to how we might handle that. Okay, very good. The next, let's see if there's any questions I've missed so far. Don't forget, if you want to send in your questions, just go up here under help and you can create a support ticket, type in your question and create the support ticket, and it will end up in our queue so that you can get your question in front of me and I can answer it on one of our calls. All right. So let's see. Okay, another question that we had coming in came in, I think, through our ticketing system. It's pretty much a general question that I'm going to answer for everyone. Under offer request, they were asking, individuals were asking, what does this set offer option amount do? What does it mean? And I just want to make sure I get that one. So it was a general question. What is the set offer option amounts do or mean? Okay, good question. Now, this is something that you might use in the future as you need to use it if you are working in a particular area and you're familiar with that area. So let's just say I'm working in a particular subdivision, and we did have this a couple of times actually since in the last few years that we've done this business, where we got a particular offer on a property in a particular subdivision. We sent the offer, we got an offer request, we sent the offer, they accepted our request. And then we decided we would mail some additional letters to other individuals in that particular subdivision. So we have, it happened to be a gated community, and these records were in pending preliminary research, right? We wanted to send out a bunch of offers to people in that subdivision because we found out people wanted to sell who were in that subdivision. So in any case, we use this set offer option amounts. Understand, this refers to records that are in pending preliminary research status. So you come up here and you hit your offer requests. If you have several records in pending preliminary research, they might be all in the same subdivision or the same area. We simply left click on that, and you see it opens up this box, and it allows us to basically, since we know that area, usually in a subdivision, a lot of the parcels are the exact same size, they're the exact same shape. And so what we did was we just went through, got a whole bunch of these records. They were pending preliminary research status, and we found the address to these particular owners. And so we came in, and in one fell swoop, we just went down and we set the same offer basically for all of the records that were in that subdivision. Okay, and obviously the option portion, now we did an actual contract. We're trying to do contractually get these parcels under contract. Now, if you're doing an option, which gives you the right to purchase a parcel of land at some given point, if we were doing an option, we would use this particular field, the option field. But we were actually sending an offer where it's a net to seller amount they're going to get. So we went on and just used the offer, and we set the same exact offer for every single parcel that was in that subdivision. And that's basically what this particular offer option amount is for, so that you can quickly go through and set your offer amounts for all of the parcels that are in that particular subdivision that you're already familiar with. If you're not familiar with them, then we wouldn't have you set an amount. But let's just say I'm familiar with this one, and I already know I'm going to offer $2,754.66. Okay, so I put that in, and the system now is going to automatically update any of these fields, and when I say save it up here, save any option offer amounts, you see it's going to automatically save the option amount or the offer amount that I put in. So the first time you click it, you notice it opens it up, and it says, okay, you can set your amount, right? But now the button changes to save the offer. So that's how you use that particular function. And again, it's only if you're familiar with that particular area do you utilize that function. So looks like this is about all we have time for today. People, thank you for your participation and for your questions. I'm seeing if I didn't answer your questions today, which I think I got all the questions today. I don't see any that I missed. So we will look forward to seeing you all or talking with you again Monday. The 16th is the next time we are going to be online here. And let me leave you with this thought for the day. Let me see. Okay. Success isn't about what you accomplish in your life. It's not only about what you accomplish in your life. It's about what you inspire others to do as well. So success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life, but it's about what you inspire others to do as well. And that is successful. You'll find that as you help others go up, you also go up. So I want you to stay encouraged and stay courageous. Keep that activity consistent. Whatever you're doing on a weekly basis, do your best to continue those, the same work that you do every week, at least that you can commit to. This is the time of year where, people get sidetracked. It's understandable. As much as possible, try to stay focused on your week-to-week, day-to-day activities, and you will be successful in this business. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll look forward to talking with you and being with you here Monday at 5 p.m. our time, right here answering your questions for Investment Dominator. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.